Welcome back to Things to Know TO. Personal injury can take a toll on both physical and mental health. If you've been in an accident, you may want to connect with a personal injury lawyer. Joining us now is Brenda Hollingsworth of Auger Hollingsworth. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. And I want to start by asking you, what are the most important things that one can do when they're at the scene of an accident?
Yeah, there are a few things that are obvious but are worth repeating because your adrenaline's pumping, and the most important thing to do is be safe. So if you are in the middle of the road, if you are outside your vehicle after a collision, you need to make sure that you're not in harm's way. There are a lot of things that go through people's minds when they've been in an accident, but just remember your safety after the accident is paramount. Getting medical help for anyone who needs it, those are the two most important things.
Okay, absolutely. And at what point should you call police, and what do you do if the police say they won't come?
Right. If there is more than $2,000 of damage, and really most accidents do now have more than $2,000 of damage, or if anyone is injured at all, you should call the police. So if someone is complaining of a sore head, a sore neck, even if it's relatively minor, even if they're walking and talking, you should call the police. If they won't come, you should encourage them to come. You can't force them, and sometimes on mornings where there's lots of busy, if it's busy with traffic in the morning, sometimes they won't come. But if they don't come, you've made a request and you end up going to a collision reporting center as soon as you can after the accident.
Okay, and so as you mentioned, there can be a lot going on through your mind at the time, but
Yes.
What information is it important to gather at the scene of a collision?
Right, a lot of people think it's enough, you've got your smartphone, it's enough to take a picture of the person's license plate, but that's really not enough because anybody could own that license plate. So you need to see the driver's license and you need to see the insurance. And the best thing you can do is take a picture. If you don't have your phone available, write down first name, last name, address, and the name of the insurance company. That will make your life so much easier.
And speaking of insurance, at what point do you contact the insurance company?
Well, you have an obligation. If you've been in a collision, you have an obligation to call your insurance within 7 days of the collision. Obviously sooner is better. You want to report any property damage. And also you want to make a request for your accident benefit package. If you need medical care, rehab care, if you're going to need an income replacement, all of that comes from your own insurance company. That's surprising to a lot of people, but you want to get the ball rolling on that.
So we've done all of those things. Now, when do we contact a lawyer, and how does one know if they have a case?
Right, so usually if you're not getting better sort of after a couple of weeks, if you're continuously off work, if you're told that you're not in the minor injury category, any of these things are indications that it's time to call a lawyer. But I would say sort of prolonged absence from work, inability to do your day-to-day activities, or a situation that's not getting better, or a fracture, hospital stay, give a personal injury lawyer a call.
Well, Brenda, we're heading into a season that I think is often notorious for motor vehicle collisions. What advice do you have, or do you have any message when it comes to the next couple of months for anyone who might find themselves in a situation out there on the roads?
Yeah, that's a very good point. December 20th to 23rd are the highest collision days in Ontario every year. So be smart. Leave yourself enough time. Don't drive if the weather's bad. Drive for the conditions. Don't be distracted. Don't be impaired. It is a very high collision time period we're heading into with the holidays, and it is tragic to have a holiday collision. We have lots of families in our practice who are dealing with these kinds of accidents, and it just adds an extra layer of misery if it's associated with what's supposed to be a happy time.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for all of the advice that you've passed along to us. You never hope to have to contact a lawyer, but it's nice to know that one like you is available if you do in fact have to. Brenda Hollingsworth, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Happy holidays.
You too.
This is a paid presentation. Some guests appear on behalf of paid sponsors. Opinions expressed do not constitute advice.